Hey there, I'm Dr. Anthony Fauci, and if you're over 65 or know someone who is, what I'm about to share with you could literally change the way you move and how many years you stay independent. Because right now, you might be eating foods that are systematically destroying your joints without knowing it. And the scary part? Most of these foods are in your kitchen right now, probably labeled as healthy. So before you click away, I want you to stay with me because I'm going to reveal exactly which 5 foods are sabotaging your joint health and, more importantly, what to eat instead so you can get back to doing the things you love without pain. I've spent over 50 years studying how our bodies work at the cellular level and how the foods we choose impact our health. After seeing thousands of patients and reviewing countless studies, I can tell you with absolute certainty that joint pain after 65 isn't just something you have to accept. Most of the time, it's directly connected to what you're putting in your mouth 3 times a day. Every meal is either building inflammation in your body or reducing it. By the end of this video, you're going to understand which 5 foods are causing inflammation that attacks your cartilage and bone. You'll learn exactly why these foods are so damaging at your age. You'll discover what happens in your body when you eat them. And most importantly, you'll get practical alternatives that taste great and actually heal your joints instead of destroying them. Let me start with the first food on our list. It's vegetable oils. I know vegetable oils have been marketed as the healthy alternative for decades. We were all told to replace butter with vegetable oil. The American Heart Association recommended it. And yes, when used correctly in moderation, some vegetable oils have their place. But here's what happens when you're over 65 and using vegetable oils regularly, especially for cooking. These oils contain omega-6 polyunsaturated fats. While we need some omega-6 in our diet, most people today are getting way too much of it. We're talking about 20 times more than our ancestors ate. When you consume too much omega-6 relative to omega-3, you create an imbalance in your body. This triggers systemic inflammation, and I'm not talking about the good kind that helps you heal from injury. I'm talking about chronic, low-level inflammation that becomes your body's default setting. Your immune system is constantly activated, constantly producing inflammatory compounds. And where does this inflammation attack first? Your joints. Your cartilage is especially vulnerable because it doesn't have its own blood supply. It gets its nutrients from the synovial fluid surrounding it. When inflammation is high in your bloodstream, your cartilage becomes a target. Over time, this breaks down the cartilage matrix, damages the collagen, and destroys your joints. Vegetable oils like soybean oil, corn oil, and canola oil are in almost everything. When you heat them, they oxidize and become even more inflammatory. New compounds form that are extremely pro-inflammatory. So here's what I recommend instead. Switch to olive oil for salads and cold applications. It's been a staple of Mediterranean diets for thousands of years, and people in those regions have some of the best joint health in the world. Use avocado oil for cooking at medium heat because it has a high smoke point and doesn't oxidize like vegetable oils. Coconut oil is also excellent for cooking and has natural anti-inflammatory compounds called medium-chain triglycerides. Ghee, which is clarified butter, is something I encourage my patients to use because it's been used for thousands of years in traditional medicine. It's stable, doesn't oxidize, and has anti-inflammatory properties. These alternatives won't create the same inflammatory cascade. Your joints will thank you within weeks. Some patients report less morning stiffness within days. Within 2 weeks, many notice that their hands and feet aren't as puffy when they wake up. Now let's move to the second food. It's refined sugar and foods loaded with added sugar. Sugar is more inflammatory than almost any other food you can eat. When you consume refined sugar, especially after 65 when your metabolism is slower and your pancreas works harder, your blood sugar spikes, your insulin spikes, and in response, your body releases inflammatory compounds called cytokines, specifically tumor necrosis factor alpha and interleukin-6. These cytokines are like fire alarms going off all over your body. Your immune system responds by attacking, and unfortunately, it often attacks your own joints. But it gets worse. Sugar also feeds bad bacteria in your gut. Your gut is home to trillions of bacteria. When you feed them sugar, the bad bacteria grow and the good bacteria die. A compromised gut microbiome is one of the biggest drivers of systemic inflammation. We've discovered that people with joint pain often have depleted beneficial bacteria and an overgrowth of pathogenic bacteria. This is called dysbiosis. This dysbiosis creates a permeable gut barrier, sometimes called leaky gut. When your gut barrier is compromised, inflammatory substances leak into your bloodstream. Your immune system thinks there's an invasion. It mounts an attack, and again, your joints are targeted. You end up in a vicious cycle where sugar destroys your gut bacteria, which damages your gut barrier, which allows inflammatory substances into your bloodstream, which attacks your joints. I'm not just talking about obvious sugar like soda or candy. I'm talking about yogurt with fruit on the bottom that has 12 to 15 grams of added sugar. I'm talking about whole grain bread with added sugar manufacturers sneak in. I'm talking about low-fat salad dressings loaded with sugar to compensate for removed fat. I'm talking about granola marketed as healthy but with more sugar than candy bars. I'm talking about fruit juices that are basically liquid sugar. What should you eat instead? Use stevia or monk fruit sweetener. These don't spike your blood sugar at all. They don't trigger an insulin response. They don't feed bad bacteria. Eat whole fruits like berries in moderation because fiber slows down sugar absorption so your blood sugar doesn't spike dramatically. Avoid anything with high fructose corn syrup. That's particularly damaging because your liver metabolizes it differently. Read labels obsessively. If sugar is in the top 5 ingredients, don't eat it. And here's a trick. If a food is labeled low fat, it almost certainly has added sugar. Just skip it and buy the full fat version instead. The third food is bread. Specifically, wheat bread, whole grain bread, and most supermarket bread. I hear objections, but Dr. Fauci, whole grains are healthy. They have fiber. Yes, that's true, but modern wheat has been genetically modified over 60 years to have much higher gluten content. This is done to improve yield and shelf life, but it comes at a cost to your health, especially if you're over 65. Gluten is a protein that triggers an immune response in susceptible people, even without celiac disease. We're discovering that non-celiac gluten sensitivity is far more common than we thought. And here's the thing about gluten and joints. Gluten increases intestinal permeability. It damages your gut barrier, which brings us back to that leaky gut. When your gut barrier is compromised, your immune system goes into overdrive. That means chronic inflammation flowing through your bloodstream constantly. Additionally, gluten contains a compound that can cross-react with your joint cartilage. This is called molecular mimicry. Your immune system gets confused and starts attacking your cartilage as if it's a foreign invader. For people over 65 with some cartilage degradation from decades of wear and tear, this is particularly damaging. You don't have cartilage reserves. What you have is what you're going to have for the rest of your life unless you stop attacking it. What should you eat instead? Try almond flour bread. It has minimal blood sugar impact and no gluten. Use lettuce wraps for sandwiches instead of bread. Wrap your sandwich filling in lettuce. Or, if you absolutely must have bread, look for sprouted grain bread, which has lower gluten content and better nutrient bioavailability. Many of my patients report that simply eliminating bread for 30 days resulted in noticeably less joint pain. That's how much inflammation bread creates. Now we're getting into the fourth food. It's processed meat. We're talking about deli meats, bacon, sausage, hot dogs, and canned meat products. These products contain high levels of advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These compounds form when proteins and fats are heated to very high temperatures during processing. Meat is heated to extreme temperatures, sometimes over 400 degrees. These AGEs accumulate in your body and directly damage collagen and cartilage. Your joints are made of collagen. When you eat processed meat regularly, you're eating compounds that damage your joints. But that's not the worst part. Processed meats contain high sodium levels and inflammatory vegetable oils. Sodium causes fluid retention and puts pressure on your joints. The vegetable oils create the inflammatory cascade we talked about earlier. Plus, processed meats contain nitrates and nitrites as preservatives that increase inflammation. These are converted to nitrosamines in your body, which are inflammatory and potentially carcinogenic. They contain high omega-6 and very little omega-3, creating inflammatory imbalance. What should you eat instead? Fresh fish, especially fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines. These are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, which are anti-inflammatory. When you eat salmon, you're eating omega-3 fats that reduce inflammation. Eat organic, grass-fed beef in moderation. The quality matters tremendously because grass-fed beef has a better omega-3 to omega-6 ratio. Grass-fed cattle eat grass, rich in omega-3. Grain-fed cattle eat corn and soy, rich in omega-6. Eat free-range chicken. Cook it yourself instead of buying processed versions. Add beans and legumes as protein sources. They're packed with fiber and anti-inflammatory compounds. Here's something important. You've learned about 4 foods destroying your joints, but here's what separates people who recover from those who don't. It's understanding that your body constantly tries to heal itself. Your cartilage can regenerate, your inflammation can decrease, your mobility can come back, but only if you give your body the right tools. And that brings us to the 5th food. The 5th food is seed oils. Sunflower oil, safflower oil, grapeseed oil, pumpkin seed oil. These are marketed as healthy alternatives and used in restaurants, baked goods, salad dressings, nut butters, and protein powders everywhere. They have an even worse omega-6 to omega-3 ratio than vegetable oils. Some are 90% omega-6. This creates an inflammatory disaster in people over 65. When I do blood work and look at inflammatory markers, the ones with highest inflammation are almost always consuming the most seed oils. It's like throwing gasoline on fire if you have joint pain. Seed oils are particularly problematic because even small amounts consumed regularly shift your body into chronic inflammation. Seed oils are heat sensitive and become more inflammatory when cooked, especially in restaurants at 400 degrees repeatedly. My recommendation is simple. Eliminate seed oils completely. Read every label. If you see sunflower oil, safflower oil, grapeseed oil, or any seed oil, put it back. Buy products made with olive oil or coconut oil instead. When you eat out, ask if they use seed oils. If they do, request they cook your food in olive oil or butter instead. Most restaurants will accommodate you. They have these oils in the kitchen. Now that we've covered all 5 foods, let me tell you what happens when you stop eating them. In the first 2 weeks, your inflammatory markers decrease. Your C-reactive protein goes down. Your cytokine levels normalize. You might notice less puffiness in your hands when you wake up. In 4 to 6 weeks, you'll start noticing genuine pain reduction. Your morning stiffness decreases. In 8 to 12 weeks, many patients report feeling 30 years younger. They're getting up and down from chairs without pain. They're playing with grandkids. They're walking without limping. They're sleeping better. But understand this. This doesn't work if you're just eliminating bad foods. You must replace them with good foods. For breakfast, eat eggs with vegetables cooked in olive oil. Eggs are loaded with choline, supporting joint health. Add berries, not sugary cereal. For lunch, eat fresh fish or grass-fed beef with a big salad made with olive oil and vinegar plus steamed vegetables. Make your plate at least 50% vegetables. For dinner, eat similar protein and vegetable portions. Snack on nuts, seeds, and cheese. Drink plenty of water, and eat more healthy fat. Fat from olive oil, avocados, nuts, and fish. I know this goes against everything you've been told for 40 years, but science is clear. Your joints need fat to lubricate and repair themselves. Fat is essential for hormone production that reduces inflammation. It's essential for absorbing fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K, critical for joint health. And it's refined carbohydrates and seed oils that inflamed you, not fat. When you eat healthy fat, your body produces lipid mediators that reduce inflammation and support joint repair. This isn't opinion, this is biology. Some people feel better in days. Their pain decreases noticeably within a week. Others take 2 to 3 weeks. It depends on how inflamed you are, how long you've eaten these foods, and how strictly you follow this eating pattern. But I guarantee, if you eliminate these 5 foods and replace them with alternatives, you will feel a difference. Your body wants to heal. You don't need expensive supplements or joint formulas. You need to stop eating poison and start eating medicine. Food is medicine. Your body isn't suffering from lack of glucosamine or collagen supplements. It's suffering from excess inflammatory foods. Fix the root cause, and symptoms disappear. That's how real healing works. Also consider the elimination diet. This scientifically proves which foods trigger inflammation. For 30 days, eliminate these 5 foods and other common inflammatory foods like dairy and nightshade vegetables. Only 30 days. Then slowly reintroduce foods one at a time every few days and pay attention to how your body responds. Does your joint pain return? That food is a trigger. Does it stay away? You can have it in moderation. This personalizes your diet. While these 5 foods are generally inflammatory for most over 65, there's individual variation. Some are more sensitive to gluten. Some tolerate small seed oil amounts. You'll only know by testing. This is your body. You're the expert. I'm giving you the framework to figure what works. Something amplifies these foods' damage. It's stress and poor sleep. When stressed or sleep deprived, your body produces more cortisol, increasing inflammation. Your immune system becomes dysregulated. your recovery slows. You could do everything right dietarily, but if you're staying up late and stressed, your body remains inflamed. So make these dietary changes and commit to 7 to 9 hours sleep and stress management, whether meditation, walking, nature time, or talking to someone you trust. Joint recovery depends on all this together. Some colleagues still recommend NSAIDs for senior joint pain. Yes, these reduce pain short term, but they damage your gut lining, increase heart attack and stroke risk, and don't address root cause. You're masking symptoms while the underlying problem worsens. It's like duct tape on your check engine light. Addressing diet actually heals the problem. Something else matters for over 65. Your stomach acid naturally decreases with age. This means digesting protein and absorbing nutrients decreases. This is why eating nutrient-dense foods and avoiding inflammatory foods matters. Your body can't handle collateral damage anymore. Be more careful than you were at 45. Here's a practical tip. Drink bone broth. Bone broth contains gelatin and collagen, cartilage building blocks. Consuming bone broth regularly provides raw materials for joint repair and rebuilding. Drink 1 cup daily for 30 days combined with dietary changes, and results are remarkable. Many patients report bone broth accelerated recovery by weeks. Make your own by simmering chicken or beef bones 12 to 24 hours, or buy high-quality bone broth from health food stores. Consider adding turmeric. Turmeric contains curcumin, one of medicine's most powerful natural anti-inflammatory compounds. Research on curcumin and joint pain is extensive and convincing. Hundreds of peer-reviewed studies show curcumin reduces inflammation and joint pain. Add turmeric to soups, rice, and eggs. Or take supplements. Take it with black pepper, which contains piperine, increasing curcumin absorption by 2,000%. Ginger is another powerful anti-inflammatory. Fresh ginger tea mornings significantly reduce inflammation. Ginger contains gingerols and shogaols, reducing inflammation and pain. Some studies show ginger is as effective as over-the-counter pain relievers. Increase colorful vegetables, especially cruciferous ones like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage. These contain sulforaphanes, activating your body's natural antioxidant and anti-inflammatory defenses. Eating these regularly tells your body's defense systems to repair and protect joints. Your body has its own pharmacy. These vegetables are the prescription. For omega-3 supplementation, if not eating fatty fish 3 times weekly, an omega-3 supplement is good. Take 3,000 to 4,000 milligrams fish oil daily with high EPA and DHA. This shifts your inflammatory balance toward healthy range. Get pharmaceutical-grade supplements because cheaper ones are sometimes contaminated with less active ingredient. Write down these 5 foods now. Vegetable oils, refined sugar, bread, processed meat, and seed oils. Write down alternatives: olive oil, avocado oil, ghee, stevia, monk fruit, fresh fruits, almond flour bread, lettuce wraps, fresh fish, grass-fed beef. Put this list on your refrigerator. Share with your spouse or grocery shopper. Get them on board. Check your pantry right now. How many inflammatory foods are there? Don't feel guilty. This isn't your fault. You've been lied to by food manufacturers and misleading guidelines for decades, but now you have knowledge to make better choices. Knowledge is power. People over 65 are incredibly motivated to change diet when understanding why. When understanding these foods eat away at cartilage, destroy independence, and steal mobility, they change quickly. Everyone over 65 loves someone. Maybe grandkids you want playing with without pain. Maybe a spouse you want traveling with. Maybe a hobby requiring mobility like golf, tennis, or hiking. Frame this diet change as the difference between doing these things and not. People find motivation. What one thing do you want doing again without pain? Walking? Climbing stairs? Getting up and down from floors? Playing sports or dancing? Gardening? Getting dressed without shoulder pain? Whatever it is, understand that the path starts with food you eat today. Not tomorrow, today. Every meal either builds inflammation or reduces it. Every meal either damages joints or heals them. There's no neutral. You're either moving toward joint pain or away from it. I hear sometimes, but Dr. Fauci, doesn't enjoying food matter? Yes, absolutely. You get eating what you want, and you get living with consequences. You want eating bread and processed meat and seed oils and sugar? You can. You can make that choice. But then you get living with joint pain, limited mobility, dependency, difficulty doing loved things, early death. Consequences go together. You can't have inflammatory food pleasure without inflamed joint pain. They're linked. But here's the thing. Once stopping these foods and eating anti-inflammatory alternatives, you realize healthier foods taste better. Fish tastes better when not drowning in inflammation. Salad tastes better. Vegetables taste better. You're not sacrificing pleasure. You're trading short-term processed junk pleasure for long-term pleasure doing loved things. That's worth making. That's a trade almost every patient wishes they'd made earlier. Before wrapping up, one more piece changes everything. It's movement and recovery. No dietary change completely recovers joints if sedentary. You also need moving your body, stimulating joint lubrication and rebuilding strength. This doesn't mean marathons or gym iron pumping. It means walking. 30-minute daily walks, even slow, accelerate recovery. Joints produce synovial fluid when moving, lubricating and nourishing cartilage. Sedentary, your cartilage doesn't get nutrition. Swimming is even better because water supports your weight, reducing joint stress while allowing full range motion. You can move joints fully without pain because water supports you. Gentle yoga or Tai Chi for seniors is incredible for joint health. These increase flexibility, strength, and balance while calming your nervous system. Some patients experienced more Tai Chi improvement than any medication I prescribe. Eliminating inflammatory foods, eating anti-inflammatory foods, and moving gently but consistently works. Your complete action plan. For 30 days, eliminate these 5 foods. Replace with alternatives mentioned. Add bone broth. Add turmeric and ginger. Eat colorful vegetables. Drink water. Take omega-3 supplements if not eating fish regularly. Get 7 to 9 sleep hours. Manage stress. Walk 30 minutes daily or do enjoyed activities. Track how you feel. Keep a journal. Write daily pain levels on 1 to 10 scales. Write energy levels. Write sleep quality. I guarantee within 30 days you'll see difference. After 30 days, if feeling better, which I expect, do the elimination diet described. Reintroduce foods one at a time and see which trigger pain returning. This builds your personalized diet for your body. This helps understand what your body needs. I've spent my entire career fighting diseases and helping people live longer, healthier lives. I can tell you certainly that most chronic disease over 65 is preventable. It doesn't have to happen. Even started disease can reverse or significantly improve with dietary and lifestyle changes. Your joints don't want hurting. Your body wants health. Your joints want healing. You just stop fighting healing by eating inflammatory foods. Try this 30 days. That's all. 30 days without these 5 foods. 30 days eating healing alternatives. 30 days moving. 30 days sleep and stress management. End comparison to right now. You'll be amazed at difference. Once feeling that difference, once realizing you control your joint pain through food choices, you'll want continuing. It becomes easy because results speak themselves. If this helped, and I hope it has, hit that subscribe button right now. New chronic disease reversal videos for seniors come out weekly. Hit the notification bell, never missing episodes. Share this video with someone dealing with joint pain. This information helps them. It changes lives. Have questions or want sharing results after 30 days following this plan? Leave comments below. I read every comment and respond to many. I want hearing success stories. Thank you for watching. Your joints, mobility, and independence are worth fighting for. I'm helping you win that fight. I'll see you in the next video.